Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of year. It is that time of year to rank my top 25 favorite coasters of the end of 2021. What a year, guys. 2021 has been a big year for me in coasters. I gained over 30 new credits, went to many new parks such as Busch Gardens Williamsburg, King's Dominion, and I got to revisit a lot of parks I got to visit last year and gained a few new credits since my last top 25, which I think was in early July. So there's a few new coasters on here. A lot of things were moved around. Now, if you watch the list back in July, you will notice that most of the coasters on there are still on here. Maybe in the Sandsec places. But the majority of the coasters that are on here have been shifted around. I've had the chance to rethink them all. I also had to take into consideration, what did I look into roller coasters? I personally love the ride experience. I love the airtime. I love intensity. I also like laterals. So you will see coasters from mixes of those, like just maybe a few lateral, mostly airtime, a few intensity machines, and a few other like great like lateral machines, such as maybe a CCI on here. I'm not that sure. I'm probably recording this intro before I'm even ranking them, but just to let you know, that's what I'm looking for in a roller coaster. So right before we get into this, I'm going to tell you guys this right now. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of next year. Probably will be able to do it. We're pretty close to 900. So yeah, I hope you guys are going to subscribe. Make sure you guys share the video. But without further ado, let's get into this top 25. Kicking off at the number 25 spot is Hydras from Casino Pier. This Gersauer Eurofighter is the only Gersauer Eurofighter I've ridden, and it's a very fun ride. Actually, I love this ride. The airtime on the drop is awesome. I love that vertical lift, and the loop, cutback, and hardline roll are awesome. I love the hang time this ride features, and it's a smooth ride on the beach, which is a pretty rare thing. It is so much fun. I just wish this ride was longer. Maybe if it was longer, the ride would be higher up in my rankings. But what it is right now, it is an absolutely amazing coaster. Coming to the number 24 spot, we have Invader from Busch Gardens Williamsburg. This GCI wooden coaster is one of 5 woodies on this list. This wooden coaster is so much fun. I love this thing. It has great laterals, great airtime, and just great pacing overall. This ride may be geared towards the family, but I absolutely love this coaster. I only got one ride that was in the front, and I loved this, and I love the ride experience. It was just a super fun experience, and it's definitely something I must do when I go back. Number 23 is Kraken at SeaWorld Orlando. This is all the way up in almost, I think it was my top 15. It's in my number 23 spot now. But it's still a very fun ride. It's actually being repainted currently. But besides that, the ride's very fun. You have to worry about the 0G roll towards the middle of the ride, and it could be shaky sometimes. But if you can get past that, this is a very fun four-wheels coaster that is definitely probably one of the best coasters in Florida. I absolutely love this ride, and I do get when it's ride bad and good. But number 22 is Griffin from Busch Gardens Williamsburg. This B&M dive coaster was my second B&M dive machine. Actually, I've ridden Sheikah at Busch Gardens, which is up here on this list later. But let's talk about Griffin real quick. Griffin has a lot of great elements. The 2 elements are great, but I think what stands out on the ride is the multiple moments of airtime. Both drops deliver great moments of sustained flow ejector airtime. And then there's 2 bunny hills in the ride that surprisingly give some good airtime. And that final hill, which is shaped weirdly, actually gives a pretty good dose of ejector. Like a small pop of it, it's not much. Overall, the ride's very fun. I love how this ride features that old school style B&M over the shoulder restraints. I do appreciate this ride for actually having it, just like the other dive coaster I've ridden. I don't know how I feel with the dive coasters that have the vest ones, but overall, this ride's amazing, and it's definitely a must-do when I go back to the park. Number 21 is a pretty surprise. White Lightning is back on my list. In 2021, I got some amazing rides on this ride. I rode it right after it being fully retracked, and it is amazing, guys. This ride is back to its former glory. I absolutely love this ride. The airtime's there, the smoothness is there, the laterals. It is just so much fun. I love that finale at the end. Overall, White Lightning is a fun ride. It's definitely a reason why I'll go back to this park. But coming to number 20 spot is the world's tallest roller coaster in King the Caw at Six Flags Great Adventure. King the Caw really impressed me this year. I got 2 rides in the front row, and I absolutely love this ride. Some people may say it's rough. Honestly, I didn't experience it just because it was in the front, and it was definitely a hell of an experience. The ride is just so much fun. It's just an adrenaline rush. Those 17 seconds that go by so fast is probably some of my favorite 17 seconds on a roller coaster. Even though it may not be my favorite, it's still an absolutely fun ride. that deserves a spot on this list. It's a super fun ride, and it's definitely a must-do when you go to Great Adventure. I mean, it's the world's tallest roller coaster. What do you expect? That's why I love King Decapa. At the number 19 spot, we have Dominator from King's Dominion, my favorite B&M four-less coaster. Out of the 3 four-lesses I've ridden, Dominator, in my opinion, is the best one out of all of them. It has the most original layout. It only features 5 inversions, but is the longest four-less coaster in the world. It may not have the best pacing, but to be honest, I found the experience to be really fun, and honestly, it's an experience that I would definitely want to have again on a B&M. Definitely a must-do when I go back to King's Dominion. Now, with Dominator, it could be a bit rough on some of the transitions, especially on the Cobra. That's like every B&M Cobra, but honestly, this ride is just too much fun in my opinion. I love the custom layout, the second half is very fun, and overall, it's just a very fun B&M coaster. This coaster is definitely one of the better four-lesses in my opinion, and it'll definitely probably be one of the highest rankings. The number 18 spot is Sea Serpent from Maury's Piers. People will be asking me, what the hell, Anthony? Why are you putting a Vekoma Boomerang in your top 25? Let me explain myself. This ride is too much fun. It is smooth. It is smoother than most B&M coasters I've ridden, and that's saying something. I love the out of control feeling this ride features. The front row is awesome for the views. In the back row, you get to see so many of the seashore towns in New Jersey. You can even see actually Ocean City from there, which is where Gale Force is. I haven't ridden that one yet though. But Sea Serpent is a very fun ride. I love the out of control feeling. I love how smooth it is, and the Vekoma trains really do make it an amazing ride. But coming at the number 17 spot is Incredible Hulk Coaster Islands of Adventure. Incredible Hulk is really fun. It is such a fast-paced ride. I will say the reason why this ride's actually in my top 25 is just because of the first half. Those first few elements up through the corkscrew are really fun. Then the ride, in my opinion, dies out after that mid-course. The rest of the ride just suffers, in my opinion. That's why I don't rank it any higher than what I currently do. I wish this ride had a better second half, but sadly it doesn't. But number 16 is Sheikah from Busch Gardens Tampa Bay. Sheikah is a super fun B&M dive coaster. I love it. It's shot up in my rankings during this past year. I've gotten so many great rides on it since the summer. And every time I ride it, it just reminds me why this is my favorite dive coaster. This ride is just too much fun. I love the airtime. It is by far the best setting for a B&M dive coaster, and I love how this ride features a tunnel after that second drop and it goes right under the splashdown. The splashdown is really cool, especially during Christmas Town. They have a bunch of lights and it's really cool. I actually have a photo of it. It's actually really cool. Overall, Sheikah is an amazing ride. But number 15 is Alpengeist from Busch Gardens Williamsburg. This B&M inverted coaster is a very fun invert. It is like just so much fun. It is the world's tallest one, and it delivers so many forces. The forces on this ride are just insane. I absolutely love this ride. It's so much fun, and it's just nice, a long ride. It's just a nice long ride. This is technically a terrain coaster. It does have a lot of great elements. The mid-course slows you down really hard, and that Cobra could deliver some crazy headbanging, but you just gotta prepare for that. But then the second half of the ride's okay. I like how you get some good hang time in the 0G roll, and then the corkscrew is not as whippy, but overall, Alpengeist is a super fun ride and definitely deserves a spot in my top 20. So number 14 is going to Mindblower from Fun Spot America in Kissimmee. Look at this. This ride has yet to even move. This ride is still my number 14 spot even from 6 months ago. I haven't gotten on this coaster since last year. It's been over a year since I last ridden it, but those 20 rides I got last year were absolutely amazing. This ride gives so much great airtime, and the pacing is crazy. You feel like the ride is a long ride, but the pacing just makes it feel short. It's one element after another, and it's just non-stop pops of ejector airtime. Either that or a great turn. It could be rough, but I honestly don't care. I honestly don't find the roughness that bad, as many people will. Honestly, Mindblower has to be one of my favorite coasters of all time, and will be on this top 25 for a long time, in my opinion. Just too much fun. But number 13 is going to Nitro from Six Flags Great Adventure. Out of the 3 B&M Hypers I've ridden, Nitro is my least favorite one, but even then, this ride is still great. This year, I got one ride and it was towards the middle of the train, which isn't the best, but it was hauling, so I still got some great airtime on this ride. I absolutely love the airtime this ride has to feature, and honestly, it's worth it. Granted, it was a walk-on when I went, and I could have chose back row, but the back row line was actually pretty long. So I just went with a middle row, but honestly, I don't care. The ride is still really good, and I still have those great memories from 2020 in the back. But coming at the number 12 spot is Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. I don't even know if I even said that right. This Intamin coaster hasn't really moved. It only moved back 2 spots since my last list. This ride is so much fun. If you ride this in the front row, it's like one of the best experiences ever. In the back row, you get that nice whip over some of those elements. I absolutely love it. The storyline's amazing. Granted, I have read the Harry Potter books and I've watched a few of the movies, so I understand the storyline. I really love the ride for what it is, and it's just so much fun. I love the ride. It has a drop track, 7 different launches. I love the trains, and overall, it's a must ride if it's not a virtual queue at Universal. Coming at the number 11 spot is Cheetah Hunt from Busch Gardens, Tampa. This ride has moved up actually since last time. This ride is too much fun in my opinion. I love the launches, I love the airtime. Overall, even though it may not be the most crazy Intamin out there, it's just fun. It's just a pure fun ride. I love the elements, I love the whole ride in general, and it's just something that I will ride every time. It just went through a full repaint, and the repaint looks absolutely amazing. And overall, Cheetah Hunt, in my opinion, is best in the front row, especially for those amazing views. But yeah, Cheetah Hunt is absolutely amazing. I would recommend it whenever you go to Busch Gardens. It is worth the wait, in my opinion. Coming to number 10 spot, we have Great White from Maury's Piers. People may be asking me, why is this CCI so high? Let me tell you one thing, I had a blast on this ride. I got 2 rides this year, one in the back and one in the front. And I will have to say this ride is super smooth. I love this ride in general. Let's talk about some of these elements real quick. The drop is fun. The first turnaround's okay. It's nice and smooth and have some great laterals. There are some very hidden airtime moments. There's an ejector hill after the third. When you're going down that hill after the third turnaround, it's just a massive ejector hill. And a few bunny hills do give some good airtime. Out of the station, if you're in the back, you're going to get an airtime. You're going to get straight up airtime going out of the station. And you go underground into a unbanked turnaround. And you're going like almost 30 miles per hour, it feels like. It's super crazy, and the laterals are just insane on this ride. I gotta say one thing, you gotta prepare for the laterals. It runs with PTC trains, so you could feel a bit of roughness every once in a while. But honestly, overall, the rest of the ride is very smooth, and it's definitely a must-do. This ride at nighttime, I haven't ridden it at night, but it looks awesome. But during the sunset, it was really fun. Coming to the number 9 spot is Apollo's Chariot from Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Apollo's Chariot is still a very fun ride and one of my all-time favorite hypers. Apollo's Chariot, in my opinion, is probably the most underrated B&M hyper that I've ridden. It's a super smooth ride, and despite it may be a little bit rough and have maybe a slight rattle in the back, it's super fun. I absolutely had a blast, and it was worth marathoning this ride, in my opinion. This ride has some of the best dispatches I've ever seen on a B&M hyper, other than Mako's teams recently. Overall, the ride is super fun. It gives some great airtime. I love the finale, and I just love how it's a terrain coaster. I love how it uses the terrain to its advantage. I think that's the reason why I think it's my second favorite at the moment. But currently, Apollo's Chariot is Busch Gardens Williamsburg's best roller coaster until Pantheon. But I do say it is a worthy best coaster in the park for now. But coming up to the number 8 spot, we have Kumba, the most insane B&M I've ever ridden. Or not the most insane, but just an intensity monster. Kumba, in my opinion, is just crazy. It's one of the best coasters I've ridden, and it deserves to have a longer line than what it does. Most of the time, even on busy days, Kumba will have at most a 2-minute wait. I've never waited more than 2 trains for this ride, even in the front row. I've only ever seen this ride twice with more than a 20-minute wait, and even then, it's still not that bad. It's not as bad as some of the rides that can get. Kumba is super smooth, super fun, and is a super intense monster. It's just so much fun. I love this ride too much, and it definitely deserves a spot in my top 10 at the moment. Coming up to the number 7 spot is one of my new credits is Jersey Devil Coaster from Six Flags Great Adventure. I may be flamed for putting this high, but I absolutely love this coaster. I find it's probably the most underrated roller coaster of 2021. People have been bashing it for its bad pacing. When I rode it, it wasn't that bad. I loved it. First drop was awesome. The camelback was awesome. I'm like everybody else saying that the stall is the best element. But honestly, you guys need to start talking about Jersey Devil and how good it is. This ride is so much fun. I love this ride so much. I literally got 10 rides on it in literally an hour. Granted, it was a walk-on, but it was worth those 10 rides. I literally sacrificed some of the other roller coasters in the park just to get on this ride more than once. This ride was just so much fun, and it's definitely a must-do when I go back. Coming at the number 6 spot is Montu from Busch Gardens, Tampa, my favorite B&M inverted roller coaster. Montu is just too much fun. Like Kumba, this ride is an intensity machine. You have 7 inversions. The Batwing is by far the best part. You pull almost 4 Gs on it. It's an insane positive G-force moment. I absolutely love the G-forces that this ride has. And honestly, for being 25 years old, it is one of my favorite coasters still. And I've been riding this ride for so long. I've actually ridden this ride over 300 different times. So yeah, it's my most ridden coaster, obviously. But Monty's absolutely amazing. But coming at the number 5 spot, this ride hasn't moved, but it's Mako from SeaWorld Orlando. This ride just keeps getting better and better. I recently got my first 3 night rides recently, and I'm gonna tell you one thing, the nighttime rides are some of the best ever. I got a front row night ride and 2 back row night rides. I even got in the pouring rain ride once. Wasn't pleasant, but honestly, the airtime in this ride is just some of the best airtime on a roller coaster in my opinion. It's just so much fun. I love Mako. Mako is definitely worth the wait, even if it has a long line. Overall, if you're in the Orlando area and you're going to Six Flags, or SeaWorld, this is definitely a must-do, and I absolutely recommend this coaster for anybody who is wanting to ride their first big roller coaster, or is looking for a great coaster in the Orlando area. This is definitely one of those picks that I would give. It's amazing. The trim tail doesn't matter. It's honestly just so much fun. Number 4 is Intimidator 305 from King's Dominion. So people may be saying, why is I-305 at the number 4 spot? Wasn't it at your number 2 last time? Yes, it was. I still love it as much as I did. Honestly, I do not think it's better than the 2 other coasters ahead of it. Honestly, this ride is just a lot of fun. I love the airtime on this ride. The pacing is insane. The intensity on this ride is just mental. It is the most intense coaster I've ridden. I love that blackout turn, and the pacing is amazing. The snappy transitions this ride features is just so much fun. I definitely understand why the coaster has over-the-shoulder trains for its trains. I really like it. This stuff is a lot of fun, and it's definitely a must-do when I go back to King's Dominion. I gotta get a front row ride on this ride and another back row ride. Honestly, Intimidator 305, one of my favorite coasters of all time. It'll always be one of my favorites as a Giga. Maybe the best, I'm not that sure. Number 3 is Twisted Timbers from King's Dominion. Man, wasn't this behind I-305? I recently thought about Twisted Timbers. I'm like, yeah, I prefer Twisted Timbers. The airtime was just insane. It was just one airtime moment after another. The ride has advertised, I think, as 21 airtime moments, which is just insane, and I felt every one of them. I felt hidden airtime where there wasn't airtime hills. Like the first drop, I surprisingly got a good moment of air. And some other parts of this ride are just crazy. I love the fast-paced transitions, has great pacing, and definitely is a very good quality airtime machine out there. Up at the number 2 spot is El Toro as Great Adventure. El Toro, despite I never got a ride on El Toro this year, because it was closed obviously, El Toro is still one of my favorite coasters. I still remember my 3 rides I got on this ride. Oh my, this ride is amazing. It's honestly some of the funnest I've ever had on a roller coaster. That's not even a real word. El Toro is just a lot of fun. It's just airtime. The drop is amazing. The 2 camelbacks are also great, and you also have that rolling thunder hill. The rest of the ride is kind of like a break between those elements, which honestly I need that because how insane this ride is. But coming to the number 1 spot is Velocicoaster at Universal's Islands of Adventure. Not a surprise, it was my number 1 on my last list, and this ride is so good. Now I've ridden this ride over 25 different times. I safely say that this is the best coaster I have ridden, and the best coaster in Florida. I love this ride. It has everything from great pacing, great airtime, and a great theming. The first half is mainly about the theming and those great smaller style elements. There's airtime where there's actually hidden airtime moments. The dive loop in the front row gives a good dose of ejector, and coming out of the implement on the back row, you get a great moment of ejector. The whole second half of the ride is just ejector hill after ejector hill. The stall is probably one of my least favorite elements on the second half, but still, that is still a great stall. It's just really fun. I love the launches, I love the theming, the trains are perfect lap bars. There's like what else can you ask better for this ride? This ride is just so good. There's like nothing more that you can ask for this Intamin to have. Like, it has great trains, great lap bars, good pacing, great launches, and great theming. But that is my top 25 of 2021. How did you guys like this top 25? That's how I rank my coasters at the end of this year. Please respect my opinion and tell me what your guys' thoughts are on the video, and how would you guys rank some of the coasters on my list. Do you guys think I should have moved some coasters around? Do you think some coasters shouldn't be on this list? There are. Let me know all those down in the comment section down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video to other people so we can get more people onto the channel. And overall, I had a lot of fun making this video. This video is like, takes forever to make, but it's honestly worth it in my opinion. There are some rides on here that I wish I could have included, but I couldn't. Honestly, if I were to add every coaster, it would be a top 92 coasters. But yeah, that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. My Discord server link will be in the description. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys have a good day, everyone. And I'll see you guys in the next one, and bye.